now listen to Heart Song live on Radio Player. This means you can listen to our station whenever and wherever you are. Listen in your browser or download the Radio Player app. Or just ask Alexa, play Heart Song live on Radio Player. Radio Player, the easy way to listen to radio.
You are listening to CanDid Moments with Fortunate on Heart Song Live Radio.
Moments with Fortunate. It is your host. Today is Creative Mind, and we're streaming live from the Heart Song Live radio station, your voice of inspiration. Today's show is a very common topic, I would say, that everyone knows about, has heard about, but this is kind of like a reminder and just a wake-up call again for everyone to consider. So our topic for today is the power of small beginnings and celebrating little wins. More often than not, we forget to celebrate the little wins. We forget that we should not despise the little beginnings, the small beginnings. When it looks like something is just in the growing phase, it might seem daunting. It might seem like nothing much is happening, but we need to learn what the power of small beginnings is and how to celebrate little wins. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Definitely going to be taking your inputs, taking what it is that you think on this topic as well as we speak. And sorry, I totally forgot to move my mic closer to me. I hope you've been hearing what I've been saying. But so I was just talking about what our topic for today is, which is the power of small beginnings and celebrating little wins. Honestly, it's something that is so common yet so very easily forgotten, and that's why we're talking about it today. So it's going to help us in many different ways. It's going to help us in so many different ways. It's going to help us to stop feeling behind. It's going to help us, to recognize hidden progress. It's also going to help us to celebrate the small wins without shame, like with your full chest, with, as much gusto as you can manage. Celebrate your small wins. A win is a win, regardless. That's one thing I'm going to keep saying over and over in today's show, to just drive home the point that a win is a win, regardless. Regardless of how it looks. Some people may say, oh, is that why you're celebrating? Yes, please go ahead and celebrate with your full chest. There's nothing wrong with it. A win is a win regardless. And then another thing that we'll just be touching on is that we need to trust that God builds big things out of small starts. God builds big things from small starts. And honestly, if you think about it, to whom much is given, much is expected. But then the little that you do diligently and faithfully, and you do very well in, is what would convince somebody who wants to give you more to do. So for example, even in a work setting, if you're given little tasks and you excel in them, there's more confidence, in whoever it is who is administering the tasks to you, to give you more responsibilities. So it's really, really important that we realize that we should not forget that small beginnings are actually the bedrock of very, very big, accomplishments in the future. So let's remember to celebrate the little wins. So sorry, I'm trying to set up my TikTok live over here, so just 1 second. I need a stand. Just a second. Yeah. So I think that's me. Yes. So I've chosen a scripture for today because, of course, we know how important it is to just come from a faith angle on many different issues in life. What I have come to find out is that life is deeply spiritual, and no matter what theme or no matter what phase or whatever season that you're going through in life, there is some sort of spiritual backing to it. There is some sort of guidance that you can get, from scripture. And that's why today, I'm going to be using, I've quoted a part of that scripture already today, but I'm going to be using that scripture just to open up today's discussion. And that's from Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10, which says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." At the end of the day, if something does not start at all, there's no hope of, more. There's no hope of it growing. If something doesn't start at all, it cannot grow. You can't grow something out of nothing. So this scripture says that do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. So I think that's very self-explanatory. It's very self-explanatory. The work has to begin first before any growth can occur. Hi, Abena. Thank you so much for joining. Please help me share the live. Thanks, guys, for joining. So we're just starting today. And if you're just joining us, I said that our topic for today is the power of small beginnings, and, the need for us to celebrate little wins in our life. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'll just start off by saying that what looks small today might actually be the beginning of something that will later speak. Thank you for the Heart Me Essential. Thank you so much, sis. So what looks small today might actually be the beginning of something that will later speak loudly. So let's not despise it. Let's not forget that it's important. Whatever we're doing today is important, very, very important. And, let's just not forget that big and great and mighty things start from little things. So I'm just going to start very, subtly with a song. We'll go listen to a song real quick. Nobody Like You, Lord. It's just a song reflecting on, God's greatness, his goodness, who he is to us. And I think it's a good start to the show, reflecting on how good God really is to us. And then we'll be back very shortly after the song has finished playing. So here is Nobody Like You, Lord by Miranda Curtis. It's a very beautiful song. Please listen.
You can now listen to Heart Song live on Radio Player. Listen in your...
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us today, this is Candid Moment with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today in his creative mind. We're talking about something so simple yet so necessary for us to be reminded about, which is the power of small beginnings and learning to celebrate the little wins. I'm doing good, Ini. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much. Yes. So, tonight's conversation is simple, like I said earlier, but it's deeply powerful, in my opinion. It's something that we need to be reminded of on a day-to-day basis, because we've talked about the fact that life is just life. Life can be very, very hard on us. However, we can't always dwell on how hard life is. And one of the secrets and one of the things that we can do that just makes life that little bit easier is to remember that small beginnings are important. They are special. They are to be, recognized. And to be celebrated, so that's what we're talking about today. There's beauty in little wins. There's beauty in little wins. And like I said, I'm going to be saying over and over today, a win is a win, guys. A win is a win, little or small. For example, people will find it funny that I'm using this as, an example, but it's the World Cup season, right? Everybody knows that, all the countries are playing, and, it was Ghana and England. I probably shouldn't be saying this on air because they're going to have my head, but it's okay. I was supporting Ghana, and a lot of people will say, oh, we didn't score any goal, but a draw was a win for us. A win is a win. A win is a win regardless, and that qualifies us to go forward in the competition. So why not? Yes, if we had scored a goal, we would have had more points. Yes. However, a draw was also a win. So we need to learn to celebrate our wins regardless of how small they look or how small, the world sees it to be. A win is a win. Sometimes we wait for big breakthroughs before we feel like we're doing well. But, life really works like that. Hardly do you find, things just happening. Yes, sometimes that happens, but more often than not, it's a one-off. It's not something that happens all the time. More often than not, there is a gradual process to everything. Even growth in terms of, you plant a seed today. For days, you may not see anything before something sprouts. So not all the time that we have very big breakthroughs, and that does not mean that we're not doing well. We need to learn to remember that the process is also involved. Everything doesn't always come big immediately, growth is usually quiet before it becomes visible. And the same thing about planting a seed. You're not seeing anything happening, it doesn't necessarily mean that nothing is happening. There's a lot of work going on the inside. There's a lot of work going on in the background, even with a lot of different things that we, do in our lives. You would just see something happen one day and you think, oh my God, how did that happen? But there was a lot of groundwork, there was a lot of background work, that went into that thing becoming so grand and so big. So let's please remember that growth is usually quiet before, it becomes visible. So small beginnings are still beginnings, guys. A small beginning is still a beginning. Like we read in Zechariah, the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Literally, if you don't start something, there's no hope of growth. There is no hope for anything to continue. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So like, if you don't start something, there is no follow-up. Nothing can happen thereafter. So it's in the starting, it's in the little beginnings. A small beginning is still a beginning. Small does not mean insignificant. Small does not mean insignificant. Even in the Bible, it says, if you have the faith as little as a mustard seed, that's enough. So it doesn't mean that it's insignificant. That something is small does not make it insignificant. If I may use this analogy, if you have, sometimes we have very painful, like a pimple on our face. It might be very tiny, and people can't even see it, but it's causing a lot of pain. So because it's small does not make it insignificant. It's still doing something to us. So if we think about it like that, if we think about life in that way, that small doesn't always mean insignificant. It doesn't. It just means it's small, that's all. It has the ability to grow, it has the ability to expand, it has the ability to become something great, in the future. So let's think about it that way, that small does not always mean insignificant. Something is small just means it's small, that's all. End of story. Not that it's insignificant. Also, people usually underestimate early progress, and I feel like it's because of the pressure of the world in total. Like, that's the reason that people would underestimate, early progress, is because, like we said, life is hard, and sometimes you just really just want to see results. So a lot of people underestimate it because they are in that fast-paced mindset where they just want to see boom, 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 things happening. However, that's not always the best way to see life. That's not always the best way to see life. It's better for us to look at early progress as progress, because progress is progress anyway. So we can't afford to underestimate early progress. We can't afford to underestimate early progress. We need to see it as progress anyway, and be happy about the progress that we're, experiencing at any point in our lives. Also, when we, like I said earlier, when we talk about seeds and trees, a tree is something very massive. Very, very massive. It's hard to ignore. It's very visible. However, if we think about the fact that that tree, however big it is, started from a single seed, then it would help us understand that when something looks small, when it's a small beginning, it doesn't always mean that, there's anything wrong. It just means that there's actually hope of a very big tomorrow, of a greater tomorrow. When we look at the seed of, for example, a mango tree, the seed is probably not bigger than this. However, when you look at the tree that produces more mangoes, it's very massive. And that also goes to show us that it's just that one seed that's required for a tree that then begins to produce tons and tons of fruits. So if we look at our lives in that way, and we look at how, when it looks like something is a small beginning, and for example, you start a business and it just looks like things aren't moving. As long as you're sure that you're doing the right things, you're putting, reinvesting into the business, putting the word out there, letting people know what you do, eventually it will grow. When we think about it like, this is my little mango seed, and what I'm aiming for is a tree of mangoes, definitely we're going to get to the point where, we celebrate the small wins, and we see that, we have capacity and potential for bigger things. Now, another challenge, in terms of when we talk about small beginnings and, people not recognizing them and people not wanting to celebrate small wins and little wins, one of the main issues is the fact that people are comparing their starting point to someone else's middle point. And sometimes it's not conscious. One of the reasons that I think that happens is you only know your story. It may look to you like that person just started, but maybe if you had a conversation with them, or you spoke to them, or you try to listen and find out how they got to where they are, you would find that the work started way earlier than you were thinking, or that you know of. So that's one of the major challenges that we have, is that people seem to always want to compare their starting points to other people's middle points, and that can't work. That just does not make sense in the grand scheme of things. When you think about it, you can't. That's not a good comparison. That's not a reasonable comparison to make. So let's maybe another way to probably do it would be to think about it this way. You can maybe seek to join communities of new startups, like, and I'm talking in the context, of someone who's maybe started a business and is looking to and seeing, oh, this person seems to have gone way further than I have. I think one of the ways to go about it would be to maybe find groups where there are people in the same stage as you are. I think one of the major problems that we have, of course, there's the benefit in also associating with people who have gone far ahead of you, because then they teach you how they got there. But be careful in that relationship or in that circle not to be comparing, where they are to where you are. Take what you can from that kind of relationship, and also find relationships with people who are somewhat on the same level as you, so that when you're making comparisons, it's equal or almost equal or, relatable, rather than trying to make comparisons where there should be no comparisons. So, let's just keep that in mind, that small beginnings are just that, small beginnings, but they are still beginnings, and they are worthy of note, they are worthy of celebration, they are worthy of, of our attention, because, it's the beginning of something great that can, become very big in the future. Every big story that we admire once looked like something very ordinary. If we take the pain and take the time to actually look at people's stories, to actually look at where people are coming from, to get to where they've been, we will find that every big story that we admire once looked like something very ordinary. So I'd like to ask us today that what is one small thing that we've started recently? Of course, to us it's small. So I want us to think about it, that what is one small thing that we have started recently? Something that we're hoping and looking at, that we want it to grow, we want it to become something really big. What is that one small thing that we started recently, and we're hoping that it will grow and it will expand? For me, I would say it's this radio presenting. It's not something that I have a lot of experience in, but I've been doing it for a couple of months now, and it's something that I'm really looking at expanding. I'm hoping that eventually, right now I'm a co-host on, this show. It's not my original idea. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I'm looking to see if eventually I'll be able to start something of my own, maybe a podcast, have guests on and things like that. So this is my little thing. So I'm encouraging us to think about what our little thing is that we've started recently. What is our little thing? Let's think about that. So I've got two songs lined up, and one is I Give You Praise by Pastor Victor Ondili, and then the other is Olorun Agbaye by Nathaniel Bassey. So we're going to go on a short break and listen to these two songs. And, while we think about what our small thing is that we've started recently, let's just give a thought to it, and let's get ready to celebrate those small things. Let's get ready to, appreciate the fact that we have that small thing that would have the potential of becoming big very soon. So, let's go and listen to the songs, and I'll be right back.
give you praise. I give you praise and I lift you up. My hands are praise, I honor your name. I give you praise. I give you praise. You say, I give you praise and I lift you up. My hands are praise, I honor your name. I give you praise. Jesus. I give you praise. Oh, my Jesus. I give you praise and I lift you up. I raise my hands up praise, I honor your name. I give you praise. I give you praise. You deserve it. You inhabit it. My Discharged and acquitted for life. Then you gave us the right to your holy name. Yeah. The center of power and strength. There is nothing you cannot change, Baba. There's no bondage you cannot break. If you have said it, then you will do it. You have a track record of keeping your word, and you're not about to stop doing it now. Ọlọ́run àgbáyé o, you are mighty o. Ọlọ́run àgbáyé o, Ọlọ́run mighty o. Ọlọ́run àgbáyé o, Ọlọ́run mighty o. Ọlọ́run àgbáyé o, Ọlọ́run mighty o. Ṣé bí wọ́n lọ fojú ṣe ṣe báyìí lẹ fojú Jesus, ṣé bí wọ́n lọ fojú ṣe bí wọ́n lọ fojú ṣe bí wọ́n lọ You're mighty, you're mighty to save, you're mighty, mighty one, mighty one.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Candid Moment with Fortunate on Heartsong Live Radio, your voice of inspiration. And today's topic, like I've said already today, is something that's not new. It's not something that we've not heard before. It's just a little reminder. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much, darling. It's not something we've not heard before. It's something that we've heard over and over again, but this is just a little quick reminder and an encouragement for us to look at it again. It's just one of those refresher courses, if I may, that remind us something that we already know, but very, very quickly tend to forget because of how life can be. And that is that the beauty and the importance of small beginnings, and the importance as well of celebrating little wins. So celebrating little wins, why do we think it is that, we ignore progress unless it's big? I already established earlier in the show to say that sometimes it's just because, like we said, life is hard and you just want a reason to celebrate. You just want something to go really good for you so that you can celebrate. However, the point of today's discussion is to let us know that we don't have to wait until then. We don't have to wait until, there's the big applause, there's the grand celebration, or there's that big breakthrough before we celebrate and before we attach importance to whatever is going on in our lives. Of course, it's just because we just want that good thing to happen for us. However, there's several little good things, several little happy things that are happening for us that we're ignoring, all in the name of, the progress is not grand, the progress is not big. So the point of today's discussion is to just let us know that, we don't have to wait until something is very big. We don't have to wait until something is very grand before we celebrate it. we have some quiet wins. We have some things that are subtle and quiet, yet very powerful and important. And an example of that quiet win is getting up on a hard day. There are some days where we've had there's so much going on with us, and just getting out of bed on that day is a win in itself. Just getting out of bed on that day is a win in itself, and it should be celebrated. Give yourself a pat on the back for being able to just get up on a day that it's really hard. It's a win. It means that you can then get through that day and probably achieve something that you thought was not unachievable. So let's look at that as a win. It is a win. It's a quiet win, but it's still a win. A win is still a win. Choosing peace over reaction is also a win. And how is it a win? Sometimes we know that a sharp retort, responding to something negatively, will come back and bite us. However, in the heat of the moment, more often than not, we don't think about it. We don't think about the impacts. We don't think about what our words are likely to become, or the harm that our words are likely to do. I remember speaking to my cousin this morning, and she was saying how, like we always talk about parenting on here, parenting is one of the most daunting tasks. It's one of the most fulfilling, one of the most rewarding, one of, the most beautiful tasks that we can embark on, but very daunting. And, she said she got to a point where she was about to say something to her child that she knew that must not come out of her mouth, basically. And she was able to calm herself down and say, no, you're not going to say that. No matter how you feel right now in the now, you cannot make that statement. You can't utter that statement. And it's very true. It's for me, it's very true as well. I get to a point where I'm thinking something in my head, and I know saying it out is going to be really, really bad. And, being able to control oneself is a win. Being able to say to yourself, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to, succumb to how badly I'm feeling right now. It's a win. It means that you're beginning to get control of your mind. You're beginning to take control of your actions, beginning to take control of your words. It's a very difficult thing to do. A very, very difficult thing to do. However, if you get to a point where you're able to choose peace over a certain reaction, you're able to choose to not speak even though you're boiling on the inside, it's a win. It's a win that should be celebrated. It's a win that should be acknowledged, because it means you're that much closer to your goal of, being an all-round better person, being, in control of your words and your actions. Also, showing up despite stress. This one is, I would say, very critical, because there are times when all you want to do is just lie down in bed. You don't just want to get up. However, you know that showing up is more important. For example, like I was saying, in a business, you just started a business and it just looks like things aren't going well. It looks like you're even making more losses than gains. It just does not look like that business is going to become anything. But you still get up and go and do the work anyway. That is a win. That is a win that cannot be overestimated. It can't be underestimated either. You need to acknowledge that that is a win. The fact that you choose to show up, despite how stressed you are, despite how tired you might be. Sometimes it might even be showing up for your kids. Because there are days when I'm very tired and maybe my children have a meeting in school, or they have a presentation, an assembly or something. And for me, I can feel like it's justified if I don't show up because I'm just one person. And in our household, it's a one-parent household, and I feel like I can't split myself in 10 different places. But, no matter how stressed I am, no matter how tired I am, I ensure that I show up for them, because I know it will matter in the long run. It may not look like it in the beginning, it may not look like it right now, but it will matter in the long run. So that's a win. Being able to show up despite stress is a win that we must not forget, that we must not take for granted, that we should celebrate. And then this one is a bit heavy, starting again after failure. It's one that is one of the hardest things to do for everyone, I would say, because I don't know of anybody who would who just starts over, who's able to just start over after they've failed or they've made mistakes or they've not excelled or been successful in something. That's one of the hardest things to do. However, anyone who's able to start over and start again after a failure deserves their kudos. They deserve to realize that is in fact, for me, I don't even think that's a little win. It can be a quiet win, but I don't think that's a little win. That's something that should be very, very, very highly celebrated and acknowledged. Being broken down, being beat down, and being able to start again is worthy of note. It is very, very worthy of note, and it is worthy of celebration. Excuse me. Not every win will get applause. That's one thing that we need to realize and we need to just be at peace with. Not every win will get applause. And I feel like that's another reason that people underestimate little wins and underestimate, the growth process, because they are waiting on the applause. Oh, applause is beautiful, guys. I'm not saying that, we should never think about the applause. We should never, consider the applause at all. However, if we keep waiting for applause, we will delay that greatness that we so desperately want to get to, because applause won't always come. Not every win will get applause, but they definitely still count. They definitely still count. So let's consider the fact that not every win will get applause. Be your own applauder. Be your own, be the person who recognizes the little win and celebrates it. That can be the applause all the applause that you will get or that you need. So let's remember that not every win will get applause, but it definitely still counts towards the greater breakthrough and the bigger tomorrow that we're looking forward to. So let's consider that it's not every time that when something happens. And that's why if we learn to recognize these small wins, supposed small wins, these little wins, these small beginnings, if we learn to recognize it for ourselves, we can give ourselves that much needed recognition and what's it called now? Applause that we're looking for to keep ourselves going. In fact, that's why I'm saying that there are some things that we would celebrate and people will look at you like, why are you celebrating that? But I feel like that would teach them to look out for those small wins in the future for anything that you're doing, and it would make them aware that, this person would celebrate any and everything, and then they're more aware of it and they're more likely to applaud you next time when you get to that kind of milestone in whatever it is that you're doing. So when we remember that, not every win will get applause, but they still count, it would really, really greatly help us. So what is that small win that you've had this week? We've had 3 days so far in the week. Some people say the week starts on Sunday. So for those people, we've had 4 days already this week, meaning that we're already more than halfway through the week. So if you can just think about it, what is that small win that we've had this week? I'm also thinking about my small win that I've had this week. Nothing comes to mind at the moment, but I know there's definitely something. There's definitely something. It could just be you've not yelled at your kids at all this week. It could be you got out of bed even though, it was hard. I don't know, maybe my own win would be that I forced myself to go into the office to do some admin work today. I found that I was lagging a little bit behind and I needed to get some work done. I could have slept because I'm not working until later tonight. But then I want to applaud myself for actually being able to get up and leave the house and get some work done. That's a small win that I've had this week. Hopefully I have a few more small wins and eventually all of these will tie up into big wins very soon that will become big breakthroughs for me, basically. So on that note, we're going to go on another, hi Zainab, how you doing? On another quick break. Hi Khadija. And listen to 2 songs again. Let's listen to 1 song, and that would be Only You, Jesus by Ada Ehi. It's a very nice song. I'm fine, Zainab, it's been a while. It's a very nice song that I like, and I hope you enjoy it too. So let's listen.
You are listening to Candid Moments with Fortunate on Heart Song Live Radio. to Candid Moments with Fortunate on Heart Song Live Radio.
You can now listen to Heart Song live on Radio Player. Listen in your browser or download the Radio Player app. Radio Player, the easy way to listen to radio.
Yourself. Hi guys, and welcome back to Candid Moments with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today is Creative Mind, and we are streaming live from Heart Song Live Radio, your voice of inspiration. So Candid Talk, we don't, we don't mince words here. We say things as they are. We take your opinions, we talk about it, and we come to a reasonable conclusion on, topics here on this show. So today we're talking about small beginnings, little wins, their importance, and, their role in the grand scheme of things. We've established by our scripture of today, which is Zechariah 4:10, that do not despise little beginnings, because God rejoices in the starting of anything, because those small beginnings are literally the start. They're literally the start of every great thing that we see today, every amazing thing, everything that we see in life that we're looking up to and we're really hoping, I would get there someday, started small. No matter how we look at it, no matter what angle we used to look at it, everything starts small. So those small beginnings are very important, and they are to be acknowledged. They are to be considered as special, and then the little wins along the way are also very important and should be celebrated and should be acknowledged as well. So why do we think it is that we do not celebrate? Hi, Amida. Why is it that we think, that we do not celebrate progress? What's the reason that we don't celebrate progress, guys? I'd like to hear your thoughts. What is the reason that we sometimes do not celebrate progress? Why don't we celebrate progress? Because ideally we should. We know that we should, but sometimes we don't. Hi darling, how are you doing? Alexa, why is it that we don't celebrate progress? Why do you think it is that we don't celebrate progress? I have a few points here, but I'd really like to hear your thoughts as well. Why do we think it is that we don't celebrate progress? Why is it that we don't celebrate progress? I have a few things written down here, and social media pressure. Social media pressure, and I purposely use that as the very first point, because for me, I feel like that's one of the biggest things. Technology has been amazing. Technology has brought a lot of great things our way. However, with it has come some unneeded and unnecessary pressure that, honestly, I'm still yet to understand how people will, whether it's ever going to go away. Basically, of course, people can overcome it, and we're all on that journey to making sure that we're not unnecessarily pressured by things that shouldn't be pressuring us. However, those pressures, will they ever go away? I do not think so. I honestly do not think so. Someone says here, some people tend to ignore small wins because they want the big wins. And absolutely, there's nothing wrong with wanting big wins. But when we begin to understand that celebrating those small wins will help us on our journey to the big wins, then we would know that there's nothing wrong with it. There's literally nothing wrong with celebrating the small wins. All we're looking at is that big win, and then we forget that there's little things that are happening along the way that deserve recognition and celebration. So like I was saying, social media pressure is one main thing that is the cause of people not celebrating progress. It's unfortunate because a lot of times, like we highlighted earlier in the show, we're comparing our start to someone's middle. We don't know those people. We don't know their lives. We have no idea what they're going through back door and what they're going through behind the scenes, but yet we're still making comparisons that aren't necessary. We're still making comparisons that we don't need to. social media pressure. We see people winning every day. We see things happening for people. And I'm not saying I'm immune. I'm not saying that I've figured it all out. No, absolutely not. Because I do get pressured too. It's our approach to the pressure and our response to the pressure that matters. These things, we will see these things because we're not blind. We're definitely seeing them. We're seeing people winning every day. We're seeing people excelling every day. We're seeing people hitting those goals every day. However, what is our response supposed to be to all of that? We should, number one, understand that we might not all be in the same stage in life or seasons. And then we should also understand that our journeys can never be the same as someone else's. So we should not actually be comparing. We should be maybe getting motivation from them. We should be getting, what's it called now? We should be getting encouragement from them rather than feeling pressured to reach where someone else has reached without realizing that our journeys are different. Another point that I would look at is the comparison culture, and it's very much tied into the social media pressure. That's what we need to move away from, is the comparison culture. Yes, we're seeing all of these things on social media. And again, it's not that we're not aware. Sometimes what we're seeing is not the full picture. I don't know if you guys have seen these trends, and I'm sure we probably have. These trends where they tell you how social media versus reality. So they've shown you a very beautiful picture of a lady holding an umbrella, looking all cute. But what they don't show you is that 2 seconds ago, the wind was so strong and was almost blowing her and the umbrella away. However, they've gotten a perfect, nice shot, and we don't see the behind the scenes and what she has had to go through to achieve that. So if we have that in mind, we would not be comparing unnecessarily. We will not be comparing something that is not like for like. We won't be comparing apples to bananas and expecting that maybe they would grow in the same time frame. We wouldn't be comparing, our start to somebody else's middle. So that comparison culture is something that's killing us as a generation. It's something that's causing unnecessary pressure. It's causing us not to celebrate the progress that we're actually making. When we're on a line, for example, we have a destination, we have a starting point, and we've moved, no matter even if it's an inch, that is progress. And yes, some people might move faster, but we cannot continue to compare ourselves to those people. Our eyes should be on the prize. Our eyes should be on the destination, where it is that we're going, rather than looking at someone else. Looking at someone else is even distracting us from our journey. Have you ever seen anyone for example, all these sprinters, all these athletes who are running? Do we ever see any of them looking sideways while running or looking backwards while running? We don't. Because their eyes need to be on the prize. Their eyes need to be on the finish line. Their eyes need to be on the end goal. And the moment we take our eyes off of the end goal, we're causing unnecessary delays. We're causing unnecessary, kinks in the works. We're causing unnecessary holdbacks and setbacks when we should just keep our eyes on the prize. Another thing that, we can talk about that is the reason that we don't celebrate progress is feeling behind. It's natural. It's not extra. It's not like you're not abnormal to feel that way. But the reason that we're having this conversation today is because we're trying to help ourselves to think more about these things. Sometimes they're unconscious, and that's why we're bringing it to our remembrance. We're talking about it today because it's a normal feeling, oh, this person has attained this, that, and the other at this age. I haven't. Oh, if only. Those are natural feelings, but how do we deal with those feelings? What do we do with them? Do we tell ourselves, okay, yes, that's enough of feeling behind. That's enough of feeling like I haven't achieved much. That's enough. Let me focus on what the end goal actually is in this journey. it's just a wake-up call. It's just a reminder to every single person, including myself, that focusing on the wrong things will make us get there later than we actually are supposed to get there. And we're not helping the process, and that's the issue, is we want to get there anyway. So why not start to build habits and start to do things that would actually help us on that journey rather than delaying us. Another thing that I would say is the reason, Agbeko, my goodness. Another reason that we don't celebrate progress is because we have unrealistic timelines. We're wanting to get somewhere. Like, for example, if you've looked on your map and you're supposed to go somewhere that says it takes 30 minutes to get there, how on earth will you leave your house 15 minutes before the time and expect to get there in time for whatever it is that you're going for? Literally impossible, right? Literally impossible. So why would you even consider, like, having setting unrealistic timelines for yourself? If that sounds stupid to you, if that sounds like, oh, that's so silly, I'll never do that, that's exactly what we're doing when we set unrealistic timelines for ourselves when it comes to projects that we're on, journeys that we're on in life. It's literally us knowing that it's supposed to take us 30 minutes to get somewhere and we're leaving home 15 minutes before and expecting that by magic or by a stroke of luck, you're just going to get there magically in time. So let's think about how silly that sounds and realize that we might be doing that in our day-to-day lives. We might be expecting something to happen way earlier than it can happen based off of our journey. So let's not forget that we should not set unrealistic timelines for ourselves. Let's realize that these things take time. This journey and this project or whatever it is that we're on, they take time to germinate. Even, I always use the seed and the tree. The giant oak trees, the massive trees that we see started from a little seed, and the person who planted it was not expecting that in 3 months it would grow. Anybody with that kind of timeline would be acting silly. So let's remember that when we're setting these unrealistic timelines for ourselves, and just remember that these things take time. These things take time. These things take time. We can't rush the process. We can't rush into anything, literally. Let's try to remember that we should not be rushing into these things. These things take time. What looks like delay most times is development. Something is happening underneath. Something is happening behind the scenes. Something is happening that's going to cause that big breakthrough that we're looking for. So what looks like delay might actually be development. It might actually be development. So let's be mindful of that and not forget that good things take time. Sturdy things take time. Because sometimes we rush to a particular destination and then the foundation is weak. We didn't take our time to properly lay a foundation. And that's just a recipe for disaster. That's just a recipe for downfall. That's just a recipe for something that will not last. Good things that last take time to get built. Companies that we see today that, are doing really well took time for, the country to... Sometimes you look at a journey and you say, oh, that was really quick, this and that and that. And then in a few years, where's the company? Nowhere to be found. In a few years, where is, that project or whatever? Nowhere to be found. Anything that is rushed, more often than not, does not last. So we need to look at it from that perspective. And that's why when small things are happening along our journey, we're so happy about it and we celebrate it, knowing that that big breakthrough is just on the horizon. We're going to go on a quick music break again. And we're going to be playing Nara by Team Godfrey, featuring Travis Green. And we're also going to be playing Who You Say I Am by Hillsong Worship. So those two songs we're going to play and listen to while I have a quick chit chat with my TikTok people, and I will be right.
Please, everybody, stand and help me welcome Travis Green, everyone. Done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still wouldn't be enough. hands. Nare Kelemo. One more time. Tell the church. Hey. Nare Kelemo. Lift your hand. You alone deserve the glory, Jesus. You alone deserve the praise. For the last time, what shall I render? Come on, let him know. Jehovah, for he has done so very. For he has done so very much. He's done so much for you. What shall I render to Jehovah? To Jehovah. Come on, everybody declare. For he has done so very much for me. Come on, everybody, help me celebrate. Travis Green.
Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the Son sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Free at last, He has ransomed
Welcome back, guys. This is Candid Moments with Fortunate, and I'm your host for today in his creative mind. And we've been talking about something very common, something we've all heard before, something that we're all used to. We know about it already. However, I guess we all need a reminder from time to time, just for the encouragement, just so that we remember that we're not alone and that, there is hope in the horizon. And the topic for today is recognizing and appreciating small beginnings and celebrating little wins. These things sound very simple to the ear, but most times we find ourselves caught in this very, very moody place where it looks like things aren't changing. It looks like nothing is happening. However, we know that that's not true. Sometimes we know it dipped down, but it just doesn't seem like it. So this is just a reminder that small beginnings are important because they are the only way that we can get to the destination, and that little wins are wins anyway. A win is a win, and they deserve to be celebrated. So yeah, that's what we've been talking about so far today. And we need to get to a point where we reframe our journey. We need to get to a point where we reframe our journey, and that's the only way that we begin to realize what is actually a win, what progress is actually happening within that journey for us, and it would help us to get to the point where we're no longer hurrying and struggling to try and get to that destination while not taking in the beauties and, the importance of the little wins along the way. So, in order for us to reframe our journey, we need to realize that we are not behind. Your journey is your journey. You're at a certain point in your journey for a reason. You're at that point for a reason. Sometimes there are checkpoints. Sometimes there are places where you need to stop and rest along a journey. So, for example, back in Nigeria, if you're going for like a trip, you're traveling maybe outside of your current state, and maybe you're traveling, for example, I used to live in Lagos, and I've actually traveled by road before to Abuja from Lagos. And this is like a 12-hour ride. Now, if we're being honest, that journey can be done in maybe 10 hours if there is no rest stop on the way. But the reason for those checkpoints, the reason for those rest stops, of course, is to get more energy, is to get yourself ready for the next stage in the journey. So when you're in a particular place and it looks like you're stagnant or you're stuck or you're stopped there, let us realize that that is our rest point. There's a reason that we rest to and recharge for another leg of the journey. So let's realize that when we're in a particular part of our journey and it just looks like nothing seems to be happening, let's tune our minds and look at it as our recharging and our rest point, knowing that maybe the next leg of the journey is either longer or a little more tedious, and that's why we need to rest and recharge. So we are not behind. Don't see yourself as being behind on your journey. Wherever you are meant to be. Let us remember to just remind ourselves that wherever you are in your journey, you are meant to be there. Wherever you are in your journey, you are meant to be there. So let's be conscious of that fact. Let's stop looking at our journeys and saying, oh, I'm behind, oh, this person. And more often than not, if you say you're behind, it's because you're comparing yourself to someone else. You can't be on a straight line going on your journey and be considering yourself behind. Behind who? Behind what? Behind how? If we're really looking at it, it's comparison that causes us to feel like we're behind on our journey. Because our journey is our journey. We're going on that journey alone more often than not. Wherever we're headed, it's alone, it's a single journey. So we should not be considering ourselves as, oh, we're behind on anything. Let's re-strategize. Let's rethink our position. And if you actually, if you're looking at your journey in life and you're saying, oh, looks like it's a bit stagnant, it looks like not much is happening in the moment, what that would help you do when you look at it as a rest point or as a recharge point is you actually rest rather than worry. You actually get yourself ready for the next leg of the journey. You actually do and find activities and engage in things that help you recharge, knowing that, oh, there's going to be a surge soon, so I need to recharge. There's going to be movement soon, so I need to rest. So we need to look at it from that angle of we're not behind. We're not behind. So I said the topic for today is the power of small beginnings and celebrating little wins. The power of small beginnings and celebrating little wins. Small beginnings are still beginnings. Nothing happens by magic. A plant does not grow except there is a planting. Things don't happen unless a beginning starts. Like if something does not start, there is no moving forward from it. So our topic for today is the beauty of small and the power of small beginnings and celebrating little wins. Now, we in reframing our journey, we also need to remember that growth is not always visible. And like I said earlier about when you plant a seed and for days nothing seems to be happening on the surface, but a lot is happening under. A lot is happening in the soil. A lot is happening underneath. The roots are being formed. The actual foundation of that tree that we're expecting to see is being formed. The foundation. For example, you're building a house. They spend so much time on the foundation to get it right, to ensure that that house stays standing. So growth might not always be visible. It might look like, hey, they're spending so much time on this foundation. What is going on? Why is so much time being spent on it? But it's because of the tomorrow. They know that a grand structure is going to be on top of that, and they need to ensure that that foundation is secure, that foundation is solid. So growth is not always visible. And the reason that growth is not always visible is because when roots and foundations are being formed, there needs to be a lot that goes into that before, the structure or the tree begins to form. And what will keep that tree standing on the long run, what will keep that building standing on the long run, what will help it to remain is the strength of the foundation and the strength of the roots. So growth is not always visible. Growth is not always visible, and it's for a good cause. So when we remember that growth is not always visible and it's for a good cause, we learn to rest in that period. We learn to remain calm in that period of growth where it looks like nothing is actually happening. Remember that the foundation is being formed. Remember that the foundation is being formed. Now, God works gradually. There is no reason that when God was creating the world, he didn't do everything in one day. He could have. I mean, it was just the words of his mouth. He could have just said, oh, let there be light. Animals, come forth. Sun and moon, come forth. Everything. He could have, as in, when you look at, like when we read the Bible and we look at what he said for each of the creation, everything to come to be. If we were to say it out, like when we read our Bible, if we were to say all of those out, we would literally finish saying all of that in less than 5 minutes. So God could very easily have said all of that in one day for everything to be created. But if we notice, one thing that we see is that God created something, took a look at it, saw that it was good, and then rested. And the same applies to our journeys. When you're on the journey of creating something, you're on the journey of creating a company, you're on the journey of whatever, even in your motherhood journey, you do something, look at it, analyze it, ensure that it's been done correctly, then take a rest and get on to the next thing afterwards. That's a very good template for us to use in our lives. Is we see how the creation story was. It was not a bim, bam, 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 do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. It was a create, look at it, then go on to the next day. Create, and that's, and you know, sometimes when we highlight what's it called? When we highlight the rest, you know, we always talk about the rest that God rested on the seventh day, right? However, when they say the morning and the night was the first day, the morning and the night was the second day, I personally believe that those were rest periods as well. Like, okay, I've done the work for the day, I've checked it, everything is good, let's hold on, next day this. Done the work, checked on it, it's good, let's hold on, next day this. And then he now rested from like the entirety of the whole work on the seventh day. So rests are normal. God works gradually. He doesn't work like, oh, just there, quick like that. If that was even the case, Jesus didn't have to do 33 years on the earth though. He didn't have to do 33 years on the earth. He could have been born, they could have even, because I mean, Jesus is not, the way he was conceived was immaculate. It wasn't even the normal way that a human being is conceived. So there's no reason why he was not born today and then by the next day they see this, he's already so years. By the next day he's already a grown adult and then he dies for us and then end of story. But the gradual process was still, you know, adhered to and was still followed. He was allowed to grow in the same way that a human will grow, with all the different things that happen in all the different developmental stages and everything. God works gradually. He does not rush things. God works gradually. He does not rush things. Also, we can also see here, consistency matters more than speed. Consistency matters more than speed. And in this one, I want to give an example and something that I've had to tell myself, even when as regards my work. That's the first example that came to my mind was, if you are the person at work who's always churning out, oh, when they say do this, you are the quickest person to do it. However, you do something now and then you don't do again for the next, you know, people can't rely on you to come correct every single time. But when you do, you are very quick. So for example, they say, I'm trying to find examples here. So say you're expected to do 10 different things and you have the ability to do it like super quick, like you do it before they even ask, you have delivered. However, you get to only number 3 and you don't do 4 to 10. Every single stage and process is necessary. So your consistency at ensuring that everything is done consistently is better than speed. At the end of the day, you might not even be acknowledged for anything that you've done if you're not consistent and you're not able to get to the end of what you started. So consistency matters way more than speed. People need to know that they can rely on you to come through every single time. I want us to let that stick. People need to know that they can rely on you every single time. People need to know that you're consistent. If before somebody says they need something, you've done it, bam. There's nothing wrong with that, but consistency is more important. If they then come to you tomorrow and then you're not able to deliver, they won't come back. So even as a business owner, for example, it's better that you're consistent. Say you've given a timeline of, oh, I do this particular thing for you in, all right, Faith, no problem. What's it called? You say you can deliver something in a week and you deliver within 1 day this time. Believe it or not, people are going to get used to that delivering in 1 day. And even when you've set that is a 1 week timeline that you usually, the day you do in 1 week, the person will come a day before they need it, thinking that that's what is your norm. And then unfortunately, you're not consistent with that, like, immediate response. Absolutely. So someone has highlighted something, that reading a whole book in a short span, but you can't remember anything that is in that book. Some people are very good at it too. Like, give them a book, pew, they finished reading it and they're telling you, oh, I've read 522 books this year. Oga, one book, tell us what you learned from it. Crickets. That's why, and that's the thing about this whole social media pressure that we were talking about earlier, is if you're not careful, you see somebody that comes and says, oh guys, reading is life. I read 100 books a year. But then you're not stopping to think that, okay, those 100 books, okay, come and give me analysis, just 3 lines each from those 100 books. That person might not, I'm not saying they can't. Some may be able to, but they might not even be able to tell you what they've read and how they've even implemented it in their lives. I would rather read one book and take the lessons from that book and run with it in a year than read 100 and then they can't even see the use in my life. So I think that's one very, very key way for us to look at it is consistency is way better than speed. You as in the fact that you've read 1,000 books, what's the point when none of the lessons in that book is evident in your life? What is the essence of running and then nothing to show for it? So we need to think about it that way, that consistency is way, 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 way better. It matters more than speed. So from everything that we've said in terms of reframing the journey, we're talking about the fact that that journey, we need to start seeing it differently. We need to see that we're not behind. Yeah, there's literally no point in reading if you're not using any of the things that you've read. You are just marking off a register. It doesn't even make sense. And that's why sometimes all these, like maybe Bible in a year, if people aren't careful, all they're doing is ticking off a list and nothing is being imparted into their lives. So let's be mindful of that. So like I said, in reframing our journey, we need to realize that we're not behind, because literally behind who, behind what? You're on your own journey, so behind what? Let's see those times as times of rest and times of recharge for the next leg of our journey. Let's be reminded that growth is not always visible. Growth is not always visible. It can be that the foundation and the roots are being established so that the structure stands the test of time. So growth is not always visible. Let's also remember that God himself works gradually. He does not do things in a rushed manner. Slowly but surely, absolutely. Slowly but surely. Someone has just said slowly but surely. Let's remember that we're not late, we're being built. Consistency matters more than speed. We are not late. It is the building process. It is the rest, recharge, building process. It is the establishing process. And establishment can happen at different points in a journey. Establishment can happen. Let's not say that, okay, because the start is the establishment point, that's where the roots are built, that's where the foundation is built. There might be points in the journey too that require another reinforcement and reestablishment before we continue. So let's remember that we are not late. We are being built. We are not late. We are being built. So I'm going to play our last song for today, which is, what song should I play? Very soon, I think I will start taking, what's it called? Song requests. Yeah, taking one step at a time is very, very important. One step at a time, slowly but surely. Thank you guys for your input. Thank you guys for Anuni. Huh? Anuni, what's Anuni? Yeah, I'll take not today. Not today. I won't take Anini Morigba. Is that what you're looking for? I would have to, for me to take song requests, I have to be prepared, so I can't do that today, but I promise that on maybe the next show or subsequent shows, I would take, what is it called? I'll take song requests, guys. Don't worry. I'll make sure I have a show that we can do that. So I actually want to play like an upbeat song, something to like we can dance to. I'm not going to get up and dance today, guys, but yeah, something that we can dance to that's really fun. It's a long song, so I wouldn't play it to the end, and then I'll just come back and give my closing remarks. Alexa, what is this? Oh, okay. Is it Ima OMG? Yes, gospel only, please, because I don't know what Alexa is typing here. Alexa, Masa. Anyway, so guys, this is Joy Overflow by Joe Praise. I really like it. It's a very upbeat song. You know, let's remember to be joyful in our process. Let's remember to be joyful in every area of our lives, to be honest, because what's not to be joyful about? So here we go with Joy Overflow by Joe Praise, and I'll be right back to close the show. Thank you guys for being here thus far. Thank you guys for joining in. Here is Joy Overflow by Joe Praise.
Push it up.
guys, we have come to the end of today's show. I really do hope that you've learned a thing or two. I have from a few people commenting on here, and this is Candid Moments by Fortunate, and I'm your host for today in his creative mind. And we just talked about the power of small beginnings and celebrating little wins. It's something we all know already. We already know about. It's not like we don't. However, we sometimes need the reminder, and that's why we're talking about it today. So, I just want us to remember, let's not overlook our small beginnings, and let's not ignore our quiet progress. And let's not forget to celebrate the little wins, because they matter more than we think. It may not look like it, but they matter way more than we think. Let's remember that we are growing, even if it doesn't feel loud yet. We are growing, even if it doesn't feel loud yet. Thank you so much for joining on all the social media platforms. We're very grateful to have you. And be here same time next week, 4 p.m. And just to have these discussions and this discourse, we just want to literally just learn and glean from each other on here and have candid conversations. Thank you so much for joining, and see you next week.